So it looks like we've gotten all the shrimp taken care of.
Yes.
Now what do we do?
Well, we're gonna have to get this out of the way. We're just waiting for the butter and the oil to melt.
Okay.
And then we're gonna slowly just add the shrimp in and just let it sit and cook gently.
Gently. Now what about this like leftover excess? You would still just kind of shake that out and go through, make sure that you're not carrying over too much of the flour into the pan?
Yes, too much flour in here will just cause it to burn and then you're not gonna get a good flavor with the shrimp at all.
And then the other big thing I know I've been told is not to overcrowd the pan. So with this amount of shrimp to this size pan, looks like clearly we should have plenty of room. Is it a trick to adding it maybe like one at a time?
Yes, you want to put it one at a time. You always want to make sure that your pan has enough surface area so to contain the heat when you're adding your shrimp. You don't want to cool down and you don't want to lose any of that heat when you're doing that.
Perfect.
So the pan's just about ready. Just going to slowly drop that in.
You can already smell the garlic. You can smell the butter cooking. Is the cayenne or the paprika going to make it, really spicy, really hot? Is this going to have any texture that maybe certain people might want to be more mindful of in regards to like flavor or palate?
The paprika is there to add color. And the garlic, if you don't like garlic, maybe you shouldn't be making this recipe.
Got it, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah, cayenne pepper, it's adjusting to taste. It's however as spicy as you want it. Less spicy, you add less.
Perfect. That makes perfect sense. I like my food spicy. I don't know about you, but not everyone does. I've made that mistake a couple of different times.
Just blowing your friends' minds.
That's right. Now, what are some of your favorite recipes to cook? Was there one like go-to that you had when you first started? You know, did you really want to change the brownie game? Did you really want to change sort of that savory and sweet? I know you mentioned you really wanted to make people sort of open their minds and their eyes to other alternatives.
I really wanted to get more into the elevated side of cooking. I have spent several years in fine dining. And I realized that, you know, as a cook, you should be able to do way more than just make brownies.
Sure.
And you know, part of being a chef is to nourish and make sure that people are fed, and infusing cannabis, even better.
Absolutely. And I know I've had a lot of, challenges with finding recipes that really hone in on the dosage. You know, how you're actually dosing yourself, finding that calculation, and it is quite mathematical. You just kind of have to go for it, right?
Yeah, you really have to go for it. I mean, it's the hardest part that a lot of people have with creating edibles is that they don't think outside the box aside from brownies and cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're also afraid of purchasing so much flour or any other plant material product, and they're afraid of burning it or doing something else. But if you can find, you can learn how to decarboxylate on Cure website.
And that level machine, I think, makes it even easier. It's just one less thing to kind of have to worry about.
Yes.
And it's a really cost-effective way of doing it. I think that that's really an important thing. Is as medicine, it's expensive, and insurance doesn't cover it. So, it providing that information to make sure that people don't worry. We've heard some really great success stories of people using those recipes that you have. So we're just so lucky and happy to be here in the kitchen with you.
Happy to be here and happy to help out in our cannabis ohana and making sure that everybody gets, their medication in however the way they need to. Whether it be flowers or using rosin or
eating shrimp.
Or eating shrimp.
This is perfect. Now it's looking like it's starting to cook.
Yes, it's starting to get there. You can start to smell it.
Yeah.
You can start seeing the shrimp turn a little bit opaque on the top. That's exactly what you want. You don't want too high of a heat. You don't want it too crazy. You don't want it to burn. You don't want the flour to just start turning very deep brown. And at this stage, with all that butter boiling away and cooking our shrimp, we're going to throw the garlic in.
Been waiting. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
We throw the garlic in now because garlic, just like shrimp, can burn.
Yep. And you always know when it burns, right? It has that smell.
It has that smell. It has a bitterness. just like shrimp, everything cooks at a different time. So you kind of just want to throw everything in at at the same rate, and then evenly get everything cooked.
And I feel like people are really intimidated by cooking with seafood. I think this is a perfect recipe to really introduce people to, finding something simple, but yet something still really delicious.
Yes.
So clearly.
It's enjoyed by all. I mean, we have it's in the spirit of on the North Shore, all the way to Kuku, to all those shrimp trucks out there. This is my little tribute to them. It's a far drive for me where I live. I live in town, so it's something that we really wanted to showcase that you can make an infused product.
Yeah.
Something more savory.
Well, and something close to home that you can then take home with you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And it kind of reminds you of the North Shore and sort of that energy, that seafood, and some of those medicinal aspects of it. So how long does the shrimp usually have to cook?
About 3 to 6 minutes on one side.
Okay.
For one side, around 3 to 6 minutes. Then you're gonna add the garlic, and then as you can tell, the shrimp is turning a little more red, and that's
it has a reddish kind of orange texture or color to it, and the texture looks like it's firming up a little bit.
Yeah. And so we're gonna start just giving it a little tug, giving it a little stir, just getting everything moving. And at this point, we can turn up the heat a little more.
Okay. Now, do you want to drain the pan? There's a lot of liquid in here. Do you want to keep all of that liquid right in the pan?
Yes, that's liquid gold in there.
Liquid gold.
Yeah. You don't want to get rid of any of that.
It has nothing to do with the infused oil.
No, not at all.
The other garlic, delicious liquid gold. So that's
all
perfect.
that shrimp is giving up its liquid, all that garlic is getting brown in there, all the butter and the olive oil is giving off all the flavors that we want. You can start smelling some terpenes out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is made with a cookie wreck.
Yes.
And the benefit with that, cookie wreck is a really nice hybrid. It's a great product to have on the shelf when you're cooking with, because it really does give you that really nice, neutral, but very pleasant experience. I think in particular, if you're eating this at lunch or at nighttime, it's going to give you that really nice, easy, a little bit more calming and relaxing.
Yes.
Of course, without putting you to sleep. So I think this is a perfect strain to pair with it. The great thing about Cookie Wreck too is it has a little bit of that earthiness, and I think that's going to come out really well with the shrimp.
Absolutely. It's one of those strains that lends itself perfectly to multi-varieties of cooking.
Yeah.
And then we're going to start turning this over.
Oh, they look so beautiful. Now, I would imagine you don't want to suggest just eating it right out of the pan like I want to right now.
You could, but just not suggested.
It's a little high, yeah?
It's a little high.
So we'll have to wait. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells amazing.
So our butter is now fully, and that's a good sign. That means a lot of the water that's usually in butter is being evaporated. The shrimp is looking and feeling almost done. The garlic is starting to brown a little bit, and that is exactly where you want to be. This eating raw garlic is not fun.
Now, in particular with shrimp too, it's really easy to overcook. So, is there any suggestions that you have to people at home that are cooking with this on how to prevent sort of maybe some of those little missteps that you can make?
The best thing about shrimp or any type of seafood is to always pull it off early.
Yep.
Just like right now, we are going to turn off the heat, and we're just going to let it start cooking on its own for its carryover, and we're going to bring it over to servo plating.
Great.